Hey everybody, welcome to Scarpad's Comic Tricks. I'm Scarpad, and today we're looking at a movie I just watched called The Invisible Woman. This was released early to pay-per-view and streaming services just because theaters are pretty much all closed now, so they thought they'd put it out. And here's my thoughts after watching it. As a movie, as a horror movie, pretty good. I mean, it didn't really cover any new ground that something like Hollow Man a decade ago or a couple decades ago didn't already cover. A lot of jump scares. A decent movie. I'd say the first hour or so kind of dragged because not much happens. The Invisible Man doesn't poke his invisible head up for about the first hour. And then after that, it kind of moves at a fairly brisk pace. Although I have to say I saw the end kind of coming. Had most of it figured out. Spoilers with the brother. And as a movie, it was okay. As once again, another extension of what Universal Pictures wants to reboot the whole 1940s classic monsters. They tried it with a Mummy. And I think they could be doing me a Dracula film. This was their take on The Invisible Man, and it misses the mark totally for that. This picture kind of reminded me is if you took The Invisible Man and kind of mixed it with something like Sleeping with the Enemy, where you bring in the whole abused wife, girlfriend aspect of it, and the second half of the picture, she gets a revenge. So in a way, it kind of like Enough with Jennifer Lopez melded with The Invisible Man. There's a lot of plot holes in this, a lot of times that she could have shot the thing and the Invisible Man really didn't do it. Some of it wasn't clear, like I didn't understand the cop that she was living with, was that her boyfriend, friend, and it's not really, ever, alluded to. But the thing about the 1940s Invisible Man, which is a classic and a very tough movie to update, is he was the title character. They took the novel approach of setting that aside and trying to make him not the main character, but kind of like the antagonist to the main character. And it doesn't really work. I mean, the fact about the Invisible Man was he was a brilliant scientist who was developing a cure for starvation and working on increasing the food supply of the planet. So he started off with a very noble, high, lofty ideals. And in the process of trying to fulfill these experiments, he works up the invisibility serum, which ultimately drives him insane and leads to a very tragic downfall. None of that really happens in this movie. The Invisible Man here is an optic scientist who's a dick to begin with, a girlfriend beater, and just an all-around asshole. So, I mean, there's no tragic turn for this. He's an asshole when the picture starts. He's an asshole when the picture ends. The brother turns out to be an asshole. So it just doesn't work. If they're going to keep on trying to take this approach with the other classic monsters, it's just a miss. I mean, it's not giving the focus where it needs to be on the classic monster, and it doesn't have it doesn't hold up the whole monster franchise to a higher ordeal. So, as I said, I'll give the picture, I would say, as a horror movie, maybe a B for the ending, for some of the action. Some of the CGI was kind of spotty. But as a reboot of the whole 1940s Universal classic monsters and the new dark universe, it doesn't, I'd give it a D. It doesn't really meet the grade as far as that goes. So that's my look at The Invisible Man, 2020's attempt at rebooting Universal's classic monsters. Well, keep on trying, because this is certainly a miss for that. So we'll catch y'all later. Remember, keep reading, keep on trekking.